really important that children get to experience art like this, because often art is in a gallery with four walls where you have to be quiet, you're not allowed to touch, and this is the complete opposite.
I think just being in the open air and being surrounded by other people looking at art, I think it's enormously valuable. You're able to touch and understand the light and different forms.
It's a multi-sensory experience because you've got the bird song, you've got the herb garden, you've got the roses, and then you've got all these beautiful artworks kind of nestled in between.
Children can be so personal and individual here without really any pressure on them, and then things come out, things emerge in a way which they could never do in an art gallery, in a building, inside somewhere. I think that's really special about this place.
We are in Fresh Air Sculpture, and it's a show that runs every 2 years. It's in South Gloucestershire, and it's from the gardens of the old rectory, which are owned by Lucy and David Abel-Smith.
Fresh Air was the one opportunity we had to show art in the garden, and David and I are both collectors of contemporary art. I think it's extraordinary how it has developed, because when it started it was just me taking groups around, and it's so wonderful how so many schools and other groups are now engaged in it.
We have 800 children coming through the gates over the 3 weeks, which is about 30 schools.
So, welcome to Fresh Air Sculpture Show. Can everybody stroke the back of their hand really gently? Okay, like you're stroking your pussycat. That is how, if you do want to touch the sculptures, you touch the sculptures, okay?
Of course, there are some that cause hairy moments if they get too vigorous looking at work of art, but I love it. I think it brings the whole garden and the show to life.
Guys, it's flippers like hands. This guy's got wrinkles. You sit here, Ralph, and you go. It sort of looks like a drop of water we get. It's got turquoise. Yeah, it's got like turquoise, copper, dark blue, copper, all blended together with brown and light green.
It's always lovely to see how that kind of, we have communication between the students and young people. They're sort of talking to each other about it, making those connections, and ultimately they can become the artists themselves. So we're viewing the work by artists, professional artists, but then they're also able to make their mark, and that's quite an empowering process.
It's very, very beautiful, but it's also very inclusive, and we really work hard to allow children that maybe haven't had the opportunity to come to a space like this, to make them feel really welcome and really included.
Today we've worked with a fantastic special school and sort of thinking about that idea of taking a line for a walk and using expressive mark making. And then we've come back to the educational tent and done some hands-on atelier style workshop. We've chosen the theme of portals, which was a kind of theme that ran through some of the sculptures here, and we got the young people to make their own, like a memory portal.
I like the way I did it blue, so I just kind of doodled it on there.
Yeah. Where did you find the egg?
Inside a tree.
Inside the tree?
Like on the floor.
That is fantastic.
I think they benefit from them because they learn that you can make things out of all sorts of material, even your wildlife, your flowers, your leaves. And it's just being creative, you know, it's showing them that everybody sees things differently. It's an inspiration to them to try and make something themselves.
Some of the children and adults who come here benefit massively from, I think, from being in an environment where they can relax and unwind, but are also really stimulated in their own way.
Often we find that children that maybe are non-verbal or are affected by trauma, we find that we see quite a transformative experience with them. They are often able to create and communicate through creating, which is a really powerful outcome.
I'm a maker here, and I've been exhibiting here for 20 years, but I think to me the education programme is sort of at the core of what Fresh Air does. you know, the fact that it's a programme that's offered free to the young people who are coming, which is an incredible resource that they can come and enjoy this kind of experience.
What we notice with our workshops is that children's confidence grows throughout the day, and often they are quite hesitant and they don't even want to be part of a group, or they're feeling quite awkward. But through being outside, through the work with our tutors and through the workshop and the making, they are able to communicate, and they definitely go home with a sense of feeling that they've achieved something.
I've always been in education. I started out teaching when I was 19, doing evening classes, and I love to liberate other people, to have this feeling of joy.